turn that on. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
And don't forget to talk into the microphone.
Okay.
You don't have to kiss it, just get real close to it. Episode number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, it is Conversations with myself.
I'm Xavier.
No, you're supposed to say the second part of the title. Conversations with myself.
A journey of self-discovery.
Now say your name.
Hi, I'm Xavier.
And I'm Brent, and we want to thank you guys for checking out episode 1. Do you know we got a lot of good feedback about episode 1?
Oh, really? That's good.
Your Uncle Jody texted me last week and said that he was really intrigued by your stance on hypocrisy. He enjoyed that stance that you took. I had a coworker of mine, Katie. She poked her head in my office on Friday, and she said that she watched our YouTube video and she really enjoyed the podcast. And then Casey from our church home group, she said she enjoyed listening to the podcast because she gets to hear a side of you that she doesn't normally get to see or to hear. So it's kind of interesting that we get the different feedback from people watching along. Have any of your friends or teachers or anybody listened, or you get any feedback from them? Or
I haven't got much feedback.
So basically what you're saying is it's a limited audience that we're playing in front of.
Exactly.
All right, so before we get into our topic this week, let's kind of recap last week. You did your first week of 7th grade, which I thought it was a full week. It was 2 days of school. So anyway, you got a really red tongue right now if you're watching on the... What do you even eat? Ring pop?
I may or may not have eaten a cherry ring pop.
All right. So 7th grade, how did the first week of 7th grade go?
It was okay.
Any high points, low points?
Not necessarily. It's like... It feels like it's going to be like if it's a off-brand bag of chips that you wanted Doritos, but you got off-brand bag of Doritos, if that makes sense.
That is the strangest metaphor I've ever heard in my life. I don't even know what it means.
Me neither.
Let's get into our topic for this week because I have no idea where you're going with that last part.
I don't either.
So I actually typed up like 6 or 7 show ideas when I was on the computer. And I kind of presented them to Xavier, and I said, what do you want to do? And he kind of latched on to movies. So we're going to talk about movies this week. I'm going to ask Xavier a couple of questions about movies, and he's got 3 or 4 questions he's going to ask me about movies. And you can ask me my opinion about your questions, and you can say I can answer as if I'm your age, or I can answer as how I am now. I just kind of learning a little bit about each other. So you ready to get into learning about each other when it comes to movies?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
You know what? You can go first because last week I went first. You want to go first?
Yes.
Okay, go first.
Okay. So my first question is, what is/was your favorite movie?
All right, so we're going to take it back to when I was in 7th grade. The summer of 1989 was when I was getting ready to go into 7th grade. And in June of 1989, I was insane, crazy for Batman with Michael Keaton. I could not wait to see that movie, and I was just totally enamored with everything Batman. I had Batman trading cards, I had Batman posters, I had Batman t-shirts, I had an earring at the time. I had, as goofy as it sounds today and as embarrassing as it was, I had Batman earring dangling down. I think it said the Joker or something. I was stupid. I was an awkward kid.
They were Batman trading cards.
I still have those. They're at your grandparents' house in Michigan, yeah. And I think I've got the whole set. So, when I was in 7th grade, I was a huge mark for Batman. It came out on VHS in November, right before Thanksgiving in 1989, and I made the family watch it at Thanksgiving. That's how much I loved Batman. And then about a year later, a movie came out that totally changed my life and my career path. Is a movie called Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater. It's about a high school kid who has his own kind of underground radio show out of his basement. And I watched that movie and I thought, I want to do that. And so it inspired me to kind of go into being in radio, and I thought Christian Slater was really cool in that movie, and he really was kind of cool. And it's still one of my favorite movies of all time. And true story, Pump Up the Volume is one of the first movies your mom and I ever watched on our very first date. That's a true story. So there you go.
Cool.
That's a very detailed answer.
What is your favorite movie now?
That is a good question. Because I don't get to see a lot of like regular movies that aren't animated, it's hard to tell.
I'm not gonna tell the audience why that is, but
I really, and this is kind of a cliche to answer because everybody seems to like it, but I like the Shawshank Redemption. It came out in the mid '90s, and it's a great story. I've seen it probably 500 times. It's every time it's on, I stop and watch it. Just a movie about redemption and just battling through the odds. Mallrats is one of my favorites from Kevin Smith, and it's probably something Quentin Tarantino with a lot of violence in it that your mom does not like at all, but I kind of like those movies.
Okay, so my next question is, what is your favorite genre of movies, and what movie in that genre is your favorite?
When I was a kid, I used to really like scary movies. We had this discussion when we weren't doing the podcast, but I used to really like horror movies. I used to watch Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all that stuff, and it didn't bother me. It wasn't until I got older that those movies really started to bother me. So I don't really watch a lot of horror movies anymore. But I would probably say like suspenseful movies or movies that kind of crime movies. That's what I love. What do I say before I go to bed every night?
I'm gonna watch my murder shows.
Because I love the ID network. So crime movies, and I don't know if there's one in particular that I like, but I love crime movies, true crime, that kind of thing.
Like Ocean. Oh wait, no, you said true crime.
True crime, yeah, not like Ocean's 11. Okay. That's like a funny crime.
Or Ocean's 8.
Yeah, that's funny stuff. I mean, like where something happens and they gotta solve what happened.
Okay, do you like movies that are based off of books?
Yeah, I think so. I'm like the opposite because I think we had the discussion last week that I was an English minor, so I read a lot, and so it's embarrassing to say I don't read a lot now, but people are always like, the book was better, and I'm like, well, I don't know, I didn't read the book, so to me the movie's better. Yeah, I mean, I like Stephen King books and things like that.
Like It, Shining.
Yeah. All those are good. Like the original, not the one that came out a couple years ago, the one from 1990, the ABC miniseries. That Pennywise with Tim Curry, that's like, he's awesome.
Side question, which one do you think was more scary, the new one or the old one?
The one on ABC, I was your age when it came out, and it freaked me out. Tim Curry is the scariest Pennywise. This new guy they have, he's nothing compared to Tim Curry. That's just my opinion, though.
Well, I'm not watching that. So here's my last question that I did not put down, but I'm just going to ask you anyway.
This is a surprise question again.
Two surprise question. So, what is your favorite horror movie? Right now, not back in 7th grade.
Right now, I do like the very first Saw movie just because it was the first of its kind. It kind of like,
Isn't that the one? That's the one that goes, "Do you want to play a game?"
Do you want to play a game? Yeah. So I like that one, and like I said, I don't watch a lot of like scary movies anymore, so it's kind of hard to say. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll let you do the question asking now.
Okay, so here are my questions to you. Now, I want you to answer these from your memory, not necessarily the first movie you saw in the movie theater, but what was the first movie that you remember watching as a child?
Well, you guys have told me that Bolt is the first movie that I've seen.
In the theater, but what movie do you remember watching as a child? And I'm hoping that you give the answer that I want you to give so bad. I'm not trying to feed you the answer, but there's an answer I want you to say, so whatever you say, go for it.
Cars.
Well, that's a good one because my friend Dan Zergott, he actually gave us a copy of Cars and we watched it 500 times. But I was hoping you would say Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Between Mary Poppins and Cars, those are the two movies that we watched. Your Mimi Aunt Lois, she gave us a copy of Mary Poppins and we watched that. I watched it with you. I love Mary Poppins. This new thing that came out last year.
Mary Poppins Returns.
What happened when I saw Mary Poppins at Magic Kingdom? It was like swoon. Yeah, I was very excited to meet Mary Poppins.
Remember that time when it popped up in Netflix and it was like, here, you might like this.
Mary Poppins Returns, and I'm like, I don't think so. Yeah. Cars is a good answer because you would watch Cars a lot. And what did you call Cars when you were little?
Shoes.
You called it Shoes because you had a pair of shoes that had Lightning McQueen on it, and you associated your shoes with the movie, so you would call it Shoes. What do you want to watch, Xavier? Shoes? And I'll never forget, one time we were at Brad and Janice's house down the street, and the Indy 500 was on, and you walked in their living room and you said, "A shoe!" Because you thought that's how you associated race car driving with shoes.
I don't remember that. Okay.
It was hilarious. I thought it was. So we kind of touched on it. We'll just touch on it again. Do you remember what your first movie in the theater was?
Bolt.
Yeah, we went to see Bolt. It was December 24th, because we always go to the movies on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2008. And it was a 3D movie, and I never could understand this as a child. You would get the 3D glasses, but then never put them on. You'd always watch the movie without the glasses on.
I think that I still kind of do that sometimes.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I just I kind of wonder what does it look like when it's not in 3D.
I sometimes take my glasses off and look, but like literally you watch the whole movie without the glasses on.
I think I just didn't like wearing them.
Probably.
Didn't we steal the glasses?
Probably. But I mean, you know, we paid a lot of money to go see those movies too, so I think we don't take the classes every time. One time we do. So what's your favorite movie right now?
Right now, I'll be honest, it's still Cars.
Really? You still like, and we haven't watched that in a while. Like, we saw Cars 3 in the theater a couple years ago and Cars 2, which was eh.
Yeah.
But the original Cars is still your favorite?
Yeah, the original Cars. The second one would probably be Bolt, and the newest one to my list is probably Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I was surprised you told me you liked that movie so much. We saw it on Christmas Eve this year.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. It was really good.
It was pretty good.
What's the scariest movie you've ever watched?
Oh.
You don't watch a lot. We don't allow you to watch scary movies, but I mean, there's got to be something that's freaked you out from time to time.
I don't know. I've never seen something super scary.
Well, that's good. I mean, when I was telling you 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 when I was your age, which says a lot. Like, I would never allow you to see that movie now at your age. That's just crazy. And I was seeing Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, and I don't think I'm warped now, but I don't think it was probably good for me at the time. But yeah, I'm glad that you don't have a scary movie.
Honestly, the scariest thing that I've ever seen are usually video games, not really movies, and we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
But
what about Toy Story 3? That was kind of scary.
That did scare. I think that if we're talking about younger me, that would probably be it. Lotso really freaked me out. Freaked out my cousin too.
Lotso, yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there a movie that I haven't seen that you've watched that you want me to watch?
There's probably a couple. I don't know, like, if you haven't seen a lot of movies that I really want you to watch, because sometimes, honestly, it's the other way around. I want Mom to watch them.
Because I've watched all the crap that you make me go watch.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we saw the Emoji Movie together. What was that other? Oh, Detective Pikachu. We went to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tons of movies that I want you to watch. Like we were saying the other day, we were having a conversation. We knew we were going to talk about movies. I can't wait until you're old enough to watch Deadpool.
Yeah, I actually really want to watch Deadpool too.
It's super not appropriate for you now, but it's like you like comic book characters, and I think you'd get a kick out of it. Now you will get a kick out of it. I mentioned last week Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I want to find that. It's not streaming anywhere. If anybody knows where it's at, let me know. I got you to watch Star Wars when you were a kid. You held out for a long time. You would not watch Star Wars, and then finally you came around to that.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple skits on YouTube, and then it
kind of drew your interest.
Yeah.
There's lots of movies that it's one of those things where I get to live vicariously through you, because you get to watch the movies, and it's like I get to watch the movies for the first time again, watching them with you. So it's kind of fun to do that. So,
just a little thing. I actually, whenever I watch something that I've seen and I want you to see it, sometimes I look at you and see your reaction to it. If you're smiling.
what?
Like movies, TV shows, stuff like that, and see if you're laughing or if you're just like.
Is there anything in specifics? Like, you're talking about commercials that come on?
Like commercials, just like bits of TV shows, if you know what I mean.
There's not too many movies or TV shows that you watch that I haven't at least watched a little bit of.
Yeah.
I've kind of suffered through a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
But on the same token, I watched some stuff that I thought I was going to hate, and I came out of it going, it's not that bad.
Like Into the Spider-Verse.
That was really, really good. And there was a couple others that I thought, this is going to be awful.
And the animation was really good in Spider-Verse. Like, it even looked like a comic.
Yeah, it was really good. And what was, I saw Yogi Bear. That was terrible. There's a couple others that we went to on Christmas Eve, and they're not so good.
Oh, yeah, I remember Yogi Bear now. Didn't I cry in that one when I was younger?
There's no telling. I'm trying to think you go to the movies a lot, which is different for me because like we go to the movies quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah.
Like we go to the cinema, and we used to do YouTube movie reviews. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go back and watch some of the old movie reviews.
Please don't.
No, they're actually pretty funny. But when I was a kid, going to the movies was like a big deal. We would only go once every couple of months, but we go quite a bit. Like this summer, we've seen what?
Like 2 or 3, like 3 movies, because Detective Pikachu, Endgame, and
Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
So we've gone quite a bit. So we go whenever like a big movie comes out. But for me, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
To like have my parents take me to the movies. But,
yeah.
And then I got older, and then me and my cousin Jason would go and we'd go see Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that. So that's all the questions I have for the movie episode. I assume what I want to do at some point is have you watch a couple of movies and come back and we'll do another movies episode where you review or talk about some of the movies that I want to have you watch at some point. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So we've completed our second episode. We had quite a few downloads last week. We want to thank everybody who's supporting our podcast adventures and watching on YouTube. And I do want to say that we submitted to iTunes. We are now officially on iTunes. We're now officially on the Google Play Store and Spotify. It took forever to get on iTunes, but we're officially there. You even know what that means?
No!
See, what's funny about these podcasts is that I do a lot of the post-production. I edit it, and I put all the videos together, and Xavier just kind of shows up.
I'm the talent, he's the work.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up. He talks for 20 minutes, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go back to watching TV. And I'm like, awesome. I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's easy for me to talk.
Yeah, it is. So, again, good job. We did episode number 2. We're going to try to do this once a week. What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds about it. That sounds like a good idea.
And we'll let everybody know when the new episodes come out. So, you have any ideas what do you want to do for podcast number 3?
Video games, probably.
All right, well, maybe we'll venture into the video game realm. Until then, we'll wrap this up this week. Do you have any last parting thoughts for all those that are listening and or watching on YouTube?
No.
Awesome. Very dramatic. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for supporting Conversations with myself.
I'm Xavier.
Again, Xavier, when I point to you, you're supposed to say...
That's how I did it on purpose.
Oh, did you really?
No.
Thank you for tuning into Conversations with myself.
A journey of self-discovery.
I'm Brent. This is Xavier. We'll see you next time. Say bye, Xavier.
Bye, Xavier.
Thank you, guys.